All right, Deadheads, listen, let's talk a little bit about Fear... I don't know. All right, Deadheads, let's talk. Fear the Walking Dead Season 1 overall review and discussion. Man, that was a long title. Listen, guys, you know, Fear the Walking Dead created a spark of complaints. Let me tell you this. A lot of negativity in the comments section, so much to the point where I was like, wow, I cannot wait till this show is over so we can move on to The Walking Dead. Because even in The Walking Dead last season anyway, when people didn't like something, it wasn't so negative and aggressive. It was just simply, man, I didn't like that. Man, what was wrong with that van flip? And whoop-de-whoop. And what I did notice happen though is maybe it's just the channel growing a little bit and some new subscribers are hopping along or what, but I did notice that going from Fear the Walking Dead and having such aggressive comments, The Walking Dead even got some of those aggressive comments with, and very few, but some, with the black and white, essentially in the season premiere. Again, very few, because for the most part, everyone who commented pretty much loved it or just liked it. But with Fear the Walking Dead, here's what I noticed. And my cousin asked, what do you really feel about Fear the Walking Dead in a nutshell? And I said, well, to be honest with you, it was a letdown as far as my expectations for what I thought was going to happen and what I thought we were going to see. But if I took away my expectations of it being something else that I pulled from The Walking Dead, the original show, and I looked at it as just a zombie show, rating it based on just being in the zombie genre, Fear the Walking Dead was great. It was absolutely great. And I know people are going to shit on that, but I feel like that is true because there's so much garbage out there that came from the zombie genre, especially the movies. Now let's back it up and talk about my expectations. Now, when they were coming out with Fear the Walking Dead, I voiced some concerns about the casting. And I think a couple people forget that because they can't believe I don't harp on the acting or whatever. The acting, they're not bad actors. I liked them before they were cast in The Walking Dead. They did great work previously. The actor that plays the dad, Travis, I've liked him ever since I seen Training Day when he was, I think his character was Smiley or whatever. But he's been in a lot of side roles I liked. My main concern was, can these actors that always played, as far as I know them from their career, they've always been secondary characters or maybe just inserted background characters that only played an important role for a very limited amount of time, like Kim Dickens played a role on Lost, and it was limited to how important it was, and then I even forgot she was on Lost until she was cast on Fear, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, that's right, she was on Lost. And then Kim Dickens was in Sons of Anarchy, and she had a more important role, I felt, than she did on Lost. However, it just seemed, again, like one of those background characters. And she did great in Gone Girl. I loved her in Gone Girl. So I knew they can act. I knew what they were bringing to the table. And there is issues I do have with the writing. I brought it up before, and I don't believe that is the acting. I believe that is the writing. There's some stuff I just disagree with, especially with Kim Dickens' character Maddie talking to the other character about how you know, if I turn, you got to put him down, it'll break him. And still to this day, I don't know what it is about that line or that conversation, but it doesn't vibe well with me, even though they brought it back around for the finale, which that line for me felt forced in the finale. It felt like it was something they included so they can bring it back up in the finale. I still don't understand if she was talking shit to the other girl, if she was being really honest with the other girl and just being like connecting with her. And if she was connecting with her, then are you shitting me? You're a girlfriend, you know what I mean? He has a kid. Do you not, like, if I was dating some chick and I loved her to tears, you know, and she died, I have a daughter first and foremost. That is my main priority. I would not break down and not be able to protect my daughter. That is insanity to me. I just didn't get that from that conversation. So again, I see some weak points in the writing that I didn't enjoy. I don't say that's the acting. Now, moving along as far as the story, I expected something that was going to be, and I've said this a number of times, I expected a mad, chaotic dash for survival out of an urban setting. That is what I was anticipating. I knew, and I completely was well aware, they weren't going anywhere near the virus. I hear a lot of people saying that, oh, I thought we were going to see how the virus started, or this, or this. Since the very beginning of Fear the Walking Dead, they have always been open about saying they're not going anywhere near the virus. They have actually said they wanted to take things out of, or they wish they could have done things differently in the original show to take information about the virus out, because especially the CDC. So I knew that going in. So when I hear all these complaints, I'm thinking, man, where did you get that information? I do see a lot of clickbait articles spreading misinformation, and that's why I implore you guys, be very careful where you get your information, because there was one site I seen in particular that called Gloria, the very first walker we saw in Fear the Walking Dead. They called her Patient Zero. She's not Patient Zero, because by the time she turned into a walker, what's his name? Oh, Tobias already heard about shit happening in five different states. Already heard about shit happening in 5 different states. So you see, like, she's not Patient Zero, but this website was saying she is Patient Zero. We're gonna follow the start of the virus in the outbreak. So you gotta be very careful where you're getting for your information. Listen, if it's not from AMC, I take it with a grain of salt, and I always fact check with some information the best I can, because there's a lot of bullshit out there. But the story, I was surprised it wasn't a lot of, I want to say, escaping. I'm surprised there wasn't a lot more of that. It felt like where they had the riot scene in LA, it felt like that should have been a little more in-depth, and maybe they didn't have the budget for it. Okay. But it also felt like there should have just been more of that chaos. And we're talking as far as my expectations. I just wanted more. Watching the world fall apart, watching the people seeing the news reports and trying to make a plan. I don't know, I just expected more. And then we get the time skip, which seemed like a thorn in a lot of people's sides. And that I understand completely, because even though nothing happened in those 9 days, they put up the frickin' wall, and those people were living as if everything's getting better. However, at the same time, it's like, man, did we need to go in that direction with the story? Because I would have liked to see the National Guard never show up. Maddie and them leave. That's the story I wanted to see. When they're leaving to go, you know, I wanted something to happen where they actually bring the Salazar family with them. That is the story I wanted. Let's put it that way. Taking the Army and National Guard out of the equation. Follow the family as they left. Maybe they had to come back around for the Salazar family. Maybe the Salazar family just came with them. That is the story I wanted. Now, to forget about my expectations and what I was thinking of the show. Looking at it as just another addition into the zombie genre, I thought it held up great. And this is because we're comparing it not to our expectations, but we're comparing it to what came before it as far as zombie films. I believe if The Walking Dead never came out and Fear the Walking Dead was first, this would be held up high on a pedestal, because the zombie stuff we got for the past couple decades is just trash. And one day I will make a video voicing my complaints about some of the zombie classics, but I'll tell you this right now, I'll give you a hint where I stand on some of the classics. I feel like a lot of people made the zombie stuff not out of passion, but because of money, because it sells. I love those passion projects where people want to tell this story and want to tell a good story. So many times I've seen the zombie films where I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be such a good zombie show, or maybe it'll be decent, and it was just trash. Listen, please name one of your favorite zombie shows. Forget about the classics, because I don't even like, I've seen the classics. I don't even like Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Land of the Dead. I'm not a fan of those. Not even close. I don't vibe well with the characters. I cannot stand them. They're forgettable. Bad guys are bad guys just to be a bad guy. Good guys are the same. You know, stupid people are the same. I think they're boring, dull, weak. I think the script was pieced together basically saying, well, we got zombies. That's what people want to see. Let's throw some characters in here. Yeah, he gets mad because he's a dick. End of story. Done deal. Let's start shooting in a week. That's how I feel these movies were made in the past. I could probably count 5 zombie shows I absolutely love on 3 fingers. I love The Horde. It's a foreign one. I love The Crazies, even though that's not technically zombie. And then after that, I would actually have to think back. I know that I'm missing some I like. But yeah, there's probably about 5, maybe. Put your favorite zombie movies in that comment box. And if you do like the classics, I'm not mad at you. You know, I'm happy for you. You like something, you know, that's awesome. I just don't enjoy them. There was no need, and I'm a massive zombie fan, dude. Huge. Been that way since I was a baby. And I've never liked, I've always liked the concept, never liked the execution for older zombie movies. But listen, I'm done ranting. That's what I have to say about Fear the Walking Dead. I think it is better when you compare it to the zombie genre and you stop comparing it to your expectations. If you still hate Fear the Walking Dead, that is absolutely fine. Maybe you'll enjoy the second season better. That's if you're still with it. I personally, I get skeptical when someone says, and no offense, but I get skeptical when someone says, it is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, yet you still sat through 6 hours of it. It can't be that bad, let's be honest. Because right now, I'll tell you, if something is that bad to me, I will not continue watching it. And that goes for shows I love. If they start going downhill, I'm out. Alright guys, thoughts and opinions in that comment box. I'm done talking, it's your turn. Subscribe now.